Ni watoto wanaoishi na kumbukumbu ya yaliyojiri katika shambulizi ya kikabila.
It's clear by now that these men are not interested in anything that the store has to offer. They are here to kill.
As soon as you talk about holding anybody, leave alone government, to account, you're talking about a power relationship. Human beings by nature don't want to be held to account. With government, you're talking about the most powerful structure of human organization. But that is the role of journalism. It's to go where the public wants to know what's happening.
The power of the press transcends pretty much every form of power that you can think of. Power as wielded by government or by industry. A good story can transcend all of that and cut right through to the heart of what that power as wielded by those people means.
The power of the press is to amplify the voice of those who have never been heard before.
Kenya Media Program goals is on using investigative journalism to make the government more transparent and more accountable, and to make citizens understand what government is supposed to do, with the hope that that changes government policy.
Really, at the outset, it was about using media to answer questions that come from the public and to get resolution to issues. A lot of it was around building journalists' skills so that they're able to better interrogate issues.
They come here because of the insecurity. They've been coming here because they can't trust the fact that they could sleep in their homes. They would rather come to the hall inside a prison and spend another night in their homes. This is Hindi in 2014, and this is the inside story.
My name is John Allen Namu. I'm an investigative journalist. I work with the Kenya Television Network.
My name is Boniface Mwangi. I work at Power 254. And I'm one of the publishers for Mavulture.com, which is a grantee of Kenya Media Program. Mavulture highlights political corruption, that investigative stories about what's going on in the country, where the money is hidden, who is stealing the money, who has grabbed land, who is poaching our elephants, who is doing drugs, and then power or in government.
Kwa watoto hao, iliyotokea yatabaki kumbukumbu katika maisha yao.
Babangu tayari ameingiliwa usiku akapokonywa mbuzi 87. Mjombangu amefuata nyumbani akazingirwa ndo kauawa.
Mimi msimulizi na mtayarishi wako.
I'm Diana Wanyonyi. I'm a radio journalist based in Mombasa. I work for Baraka FM. It's a community-based radio station.
Kenya Media Program is a basket donor agency that helps to safeguard media freedom in the country. So Article 19, Eastern Africa is one of those grantees for that. And we've trained journalists to understand the laws so that when they engage either with people who want to infringe on media freedom, they are able to push them back, but from a point of knowledge, as opposed to just saying it is our right not to be pushed aside.
To be an investigative journalist, you must have certain convictions about what is happening around you, what is happening inside you, and how that impacts your world. Of course, you're doing this in relation to the basic tenets of journalism, which is objectivity, fairness, balance.
I became a journalist and I became a photographer because I want to tell the truth. That's your work. You're a truth teller. Actually, journalists should be more truthful than a priest.
The first grant I got was 69,000 to go cover stories about infant mortality and starvation among children and mothers. That is in Kwale County and Kilifi County. It made some of the policymakers to start building hospitals, which are now nearer for some of the women, though not 100%. But at least there's some dispensary, there's some clinics,
In April this year, we did an investigative report, a two-part documentary series on the March 2013 general election, which, for me, uncovered quite a number of things. The IEBC, in an internal audit itself, admitted that there were serious flaws in the way that they handled the run-up to the election, especially, that impacted how the election took place. So for me, it forced the IEBC to do some sort of soul searching and hopefully to be able to become better at what they're doing in the next election. And that really was the point of that story.
I don't think we could have had the same impact without Kenya Media Program. It has been very instrumental in the stories that we have done. If you look at stories about poaching, drug barons in this country, mainstream media will never touch them. They'll say, oh, we're going to get sued, we're going to get killed. We have done them. No one has sued us, we're here. Yeah, so all you need is boldness.
Liberalization has brought with it the scourge of commercialization of media. There's a lot of competition among media houses. There's less attention to the detail, the accuracy, and the content, and just more attention to getting stuff out, being glitzy about it, and looking for eyeballs and listeners. In that fallout, what we're seeing is quality and accuracy, which in traditional sense should be the sacred book of a journalist, because I'm putting my name on that report that I brought you the accurate, the real true thing from the field.
I don't want to quote specific examples here, but we all know that there are times when mainstream media has been used to push a specific message that may not be the exact characterization of what's happening on the ground.
Like me, for example, now, I'm a good example. I have a story that I still have it up to now, but I don't know how I'll do it. Because there's somebody in the government who is more influential. And I can't write the story because no story is worth my life. So tell me, how will you do such a story?
My target audience is young people. The young people who should be driving this country, but for one reason or another, they're not doing it. Look at the local language or the Twitter language, MPigs and Mavolcha. In a way, we've been able to do that. We have even mainstreamed art and graffiti, and we are not stopping. We are going to continue.
It's quite unfortunate that, yes, sometimes some of us, we have to accept money from outside there as correspondents so that they have a backup. Because whenever they go to the field, they don't have even fare from their media houses. So they depend on that backup from brown envelope from somebody to do the stories. Then we'll go back again and again and again.
Kenya Media Program makes the media houses do their work better and be much more professional, and to help media do the role of helping hold accountability within governance.
My idea of free press is three things. One, that there is a qualified and competent team of media workers and journalists who decide the content of what they carry on a daily basis. That's number one. Number two, that there is a sufficient and elaborate legal framework that supports the work of journalists, and they are not doing that at the whims of those who hold power at any given time. And three, that the instruments or the platforms through which media is distributed, for instance, as we get into the digital framework, are not encumbered by the political wishes of the day.
No other industry is protected by the Constitution. And it is not protected because it is special. In terms of business, it is protected for what it returns to the public. So the public has to learn to demand from media what they want. Some of the programs that Kenya Media Program has supported have had such incredible impact, and people saw it, wanted more, they got used to it, and now they know what to demand. We must protect that space, and we must build it until it is the most healthy, most valuable space that you could find in this part of the world.